calculation that Democrats are making about one set of rioters versus another?
Well, first, Harris, let me say I don't think President Trump will be convicted. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Usually, not always, but usually the Senate gets it right. Now, to achieve that end, sometimes we have to be well supervised and cornered like a rat, but generally we get it right, and I think we'll get it. I think we'll get it right this time. The constitutionality of this has been well discussed. It's dubious at best. But to answer your question, there's a second reason I think the president won't be convicted. I think most fair-minded Americans see these proceedings for what they are, and that is a poorly camouflaged attempt by some permanent Washington types to equate the 75 million people who didn't vote for President Biden, but who did vote for President Trump, with the nut jobs who violated the Capitol on January 6th. And the truth of the matter is that my Democratic friends are bringing a sword to these proceedings when what we need is a candle. And this is what I mean by that. Both parties, it's just a fact, both parties have, unfortunately, how can I put this, Jewish laser-type barking mad extremists. Both do. And both parties should have tents with doors to kick them out. That's not uniquely Republican. What happened at the Capitol on the 6th is not representative of the Republican Party. And my Democratic colleagues have plenty to account for in their party as well.
The way you put that, Senator, I just want to lean on that a little bit. You say Democrats are bringing a sword when what you need is a candle. It sounds like what you're getting at is you put impeachment part deux away, and maybe there can be more working together. And if that's the case, have any of you as Republican senators reached out to President Biden who promised just that sort of thing?
Well, yes, we reached out to President Biden with respect to his stimulus package. His response was polite but firm, no thanks. Clearly, the Congress, controlled by my Democratic colleagues, is going to ram it through, their proposal through. I think it's a mistake. We'll save that topic for another day. But in Washington, as you know, Harris, you have to watch what people do, not what they say. And what you do is what you believe, and everything else is just conversation. So you have to judge this administration, like all administrations, not by what they say, but by their actions.
What you do is what you mean. Whenever you and I interview, I end up quoting you in some way, shape, or form for the rest of the day. Senator Kennedy, real quickly, I'm going to ask my team to cue this up. I want to make time for it because I want to get your reaction. I understand that the Trump attorneys may go here. They may look at some of the rhetoric that Democrats have said and use that as part of their case. And I want to bring it back so everybody sees it with the senator here. Let's roll.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
I got up and talked about the president's cabinet, and I said, if you see him anywhere, if you see him at a restaurant, if you see him in a department store, even at a gasoline station, just tell him you're not welcome here.
Please don't just come here today and then go home. Go to the Hill today. Get up and please get up in the face of some Congress people.
Senator Kennedy, your reaction to all of that?
I think President Trump's lawyers are going to make a First Amendment argument. And here's what I mean by that. The Bill of Rights, Harris, is not meant to, it's not there to protect the high school quarterback or the prom queen. It's there to protect the unconventional, the singular, President Trump, I think would be fair to say, is unconventional. And he has said things that I disagreed with, both in substance and the way he said them. But he does have the right to say them. I didn't agree. It wasn't my preferred way of expressing oneself when Senator Schumer on the steps of the Supreme Court threatened Supreme Court justices. I didn't agree with Congresswoman Waters when she threatened appointees of the Trump administration. I don't think they ought to be impeached. I think under the First Amendment they have a right to say that, and I think the president's lawyers don't know for sure, but I think they'll make that point.
All right, I want to move to this. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has been sparring with Fox's Peter Doocy again after he pressed her on thousands of expected job losses from President Biden's cancellation of the Keystone Pipeline. Let's watch together.
I'd certainly welcome you to present your data of all the thousands and thousands of people who won't be getting a green job. Maybe next time you're here, you can present that.
But you said that they would be getting green jobs, so I'm just asking when that happens.
He has every plan to share more about his details of that plan in the weeks ahead.
Senator Kennedy, your thoughts?
Well, for a well-paid elite to tell the thousands and thousands of displaced workers across America who are being displaced by the Biden administration that they ought to suck it up and just learn how to code or build solar panels is why people think Washington, D.C. is not working. And I think it's I really regret, maybe even resent her callous attitude, particularly in light of the fact that this displacement of American workers is intentional.
You think it is?
I'm sorry?
You think it is?
I do. Look, I believe in an all-of-the-above energy policy. Wind, solar, geothermal, nuclear, but also oil and gas. We can't run the greatest economy in all of human history without oil and gas. And for President Biden and his people to just say, well, we're going to get rid of all of our oil and gas. And, as I said the other day, my car doesn't run off fairy dust. And I don't think that circumstance is going to change for a long time. So why would this president intentionally put thousands and thousands of American workers out of work? For what? Our CO2 emissions are going down, China's are going up.
Wow. Senator Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana, I will quote you all day long. It's not what you say, it's what you do that shows the world what you mean. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.